Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about this anime roguelite shooter game I found, Scarlet Salvation. This was just released last week around 29th May or so. I had so much hope for this game, considering its anime style and price tag, but was it worth it? Let's talk about it. So, you're gonna play as Willow Martin, a redhead with amnesia. Yeah, pretty original, am I right? Somehow, she ends up in a military facility of sorts, and now she must escape with an AI by her side who may or may not be friendly. So, let's get on with the review. How does the gameplay feel? Because gameplay is king, right? I would say it's pretty mid, but when you consider the price tag, you expect a bit more, I would say. Um, the transitions between animations are not very good, actually. The walking and running feel slightly unnatural. So in the tutorial, you don't really have a gun. It basically just teaches you how to move around, but it seems like the devs took a weird shortcut hard coding or something like that. Essentially, the idle animation is always holding a gun, so even if you don't have one, it feels like you are holding air in that weird gun holding pose, which is a huge red flag, I would say, considering you expect a bit of attention to detail when you sell your game at a premium price tag. But whatever, right? That's just the tutorial. Let's talk about the core gameplay. Movement is pretty bad. The walking and running animations are serviceable, but the transitions are really janky. I mean, it doesn't feel very smooth or natural. Shooting is fine, but there's just no impact when you fire a shot. And even if you hit something, it doesn't really feel like you did. It just feels like the devs did the bare minimum to meet the genre expectations. The story isn't too compelling, but it's fine. There's occasional banter between the main character and the AI companion, which kinda keeps you a bit engaged for the first few minutes, and then you grow kinda tired of it because, again, it's just there. Levels are pretty much one of the major drawbacks of this game. Basically, they are procedurally generated levels which are samey throughout the couple of hours I had invested into this game. They pretty much don't change at all. uh, they are pretty unoriginal and very, very boring. The combat is not great. The shooting aspect is one thing, but the melee attacks are just way too strong. You can pretty much one shot every enemy in the game using a melee attack, which feels quite weird, I would say. You call it a shooting game basically, but you don't really have to shoot the enemies, and you can just keep meleeing them to death unless they are located at a very high position. When enemies are killed, they drop coins. Sometimes it's auto collected, but if you shoot them from a distance, you have to go and manually collect the coins, which is quite annoying. And pretty much, again, it's better to just melee the enemy and get the coins instantly instead of shooting them and then go and collect them. I'm not sure really why they took such a weird design decisions. The enemy variety is quite low. Uh, all the enemies are basically essentially robotic, aberrations which you have to kill, and you don't really feel any noticeable difference between the different models. So they could have maybe worked on the variety of enemies more. We have Near Automata, right, where we have a pretty good variety of enemies which feel really interesting in their both design and behavior. But in Scarlet Salvation, all the enemies feel just same overall, and you don't really feel any noticeable difference between them. The first hour feels pretty boring, and it doesn't get better at all. You can break boxes to get different weapon varieties and switch around. You can also enhance your weapons, but the weapon varieties are, I would say, like, you switch around maybe 5 or 6 different varieties of weapons for the first hour or so. I haven't really seen a lot of variation. Like if you have played something like First Descendant, right, you have seen a huge variety of weapons, whereas in this game it's like hardly you can count them on your hand. With a female lead, they could have done so much. Like they could have added a bit of emotional depth and character to her, or maybe something like jiggle physics or something. But no, it's just a very flat main character with nothing interesting or compelling about her. So it makes the game even more of a chore to play. Something I really hate is basically exiting doesn't save the game progress. So if you go halfway for a floor and then you decide to come back and do it later, you can't really do that. You'll have to start the flow from start, and that's really painful, I would say. The combat is very bland. I took almost no damage from enemies from 1 hour of gameplay, and that's really something. It's very hard to die in this game, even if you try. Believe me, I did. This game has quite a few technical issues, I would say. Like for example, right, in the main menu, the highlighting is not very well done. So you essentially, if you hover over a button and your keyboard is locked to a different button, both the buttons get highlighted, which can be quite confusing to some of the players. The character's collision is very basic. So look, I am just trying to climb over the wall, and you can see, right, how my foot is basically floating around in the air and not touching anything. So this is an example of very poorly designed character collisions. There's something called foot IK, which they haven't really implemented at all, and it is a pretty basic part of character animation. So I am very surprised that they decided to launch it in this way without proper QA. The bullets that are fired sometimes don't leave behind bullet marks. Look, here it leaves behind, here it doesn't. So again, that looks like something they rushed without proper testing. They should have been able to catch this quite easily. And again, this reflects very less attention to detail on the part of the developers. So let's get to the main question. Is this game worth it? At this stage, no, not really. There are a huge amount of things that the developers need to address to make this game worth $30, let alone 60. It just seems like pretty much all their budget went into voice acting, and very little went into trying to give the players a holistic premium gameplay experience, or at least something they can enjoy for a few hours. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Although the Steam page seems to agree with me. Huh. Anyways, if you liked the video, please do like and subscribe. Have a great day.